So, welcome back to Daily Transfer Update. It is nearly the weekend. Premier League action again this weekend. It's been a long 2 weeks. Now, obviously, we know yesterday that Tottenham have a new manager, and that is Jose Mourinho. Now, that's somebody that I wanted at Arsenal. It sort of divided the fan base a little bit. Half of the fans want him as manager at Arsenal, and the other half didn't want him anywhere near the club. It's also divided Tottenham fans. Again, 50-50 split, some want him, some don't. But the fact and reality is he is now the Tottenham manager. So not a lot we can do about that. We just have to plough forward. And Unai Emery is still our manager, unfortunately. And yeah, it doesn't look like they're going to sack him anytime soon. But we're going to speak about 3 players this morning. And the first one is Lucas Torreira. Again, he is linked with a move to Inter Milan. No, he's not. He's linked with a move to AC Milan. I'll get it right one day. But this has been going on since June. Since last summer. The guy's been linked in and out of AC Milan. Back in June, he did state that he wasn't really too happy in England, the weather, etc., etc. I wasn't too happy in England, hence why I did something about it, and I moved to Spain. The weather in Spain today, believe it or not, is hammering down with rain. So I don't quite know how that's gone for me. But yeah, this story's been rumbling on for about 5 months now, and it's not going to go away, and I do think that he is going to end up going back to Italy. His agent did an interview the other day on a radio station in Italy saying that we were basically his second choice. You know, he wanted to go to Napoli, to Naples, and we were his second choice. And, you know, they didn't stump up the fee to get him. Arsenal did, and he came over here. But I've said many times on live streams that I do in the evenings that I think he's not been that great for us. You know, yes, he's being played out of position. His agent stated that the other day that he's not happy about that. He wants to play in that defensive midfield berth. But I think that, you know, if you actually analyse the time that he's been here, he's actually only had about 3 good months, albeit that was in defensive midfield. He scored the goal against Tottenham, where he ripped his shirt off in the 4-2. He scored a bicycle kick against Huddersfield. I was at that game as well. Behind both of them goals when he scored them, and I don't know what's happened to him. He just looks like he's so far off the pace, so far off the boil. It's like he's not happy, if that makes sense. It's just like he's going through the motions, and you know, it's like he can't wait to get out. Now, I'm not sure whether he will be gone in this transfer window coming up in January. But the one thing I will say is I do think he will 100% be gone in the next window. Worst ways, because I think that he's obviously clearly not happy at the club. He's clearly not happy with how he's being used at the club, and that all comes back down to Unai Emery. And everybody knows my thoughts on Emery now. I don't want him here. I wanted Jose Mourinho. I wanted somebody to elevate us up the table, get that winning mentality. I don't think Unai Emery's the guy for that, and he's playing Lucas Torreira out of position now. Torreira played against Argentina the other night for Uruguay, and he basically pocketed Lionel Messi. You know, Messi didn't really do anything in that game. So yeah, I think that, you know, the fact that this story has been rumbling on for 5 months now, and the fact that his agent keeps coming out with these little comments here and there, I do think this has got substance to it, and I do think that he will be gone. Whether that is in January or whether that is in the summer remains to be seen. But one thing I will say as well is that we will get the feedback. He's going to go for more than we bought him, probably, because he is a good player, and when he signed for us, we all thought he was that guy in the position that we've needed for a decade since Vieira left. It hasn't quite worked out like that for him. Even when he's played in that position, sometimes he looks out of his depth. Sometimes he doesn't track his runners. He likes to ball watch. On the whole, if I was to give him a rating for his Arsenal career out of 10, I would probably have to go with maybe a 6. No, actually, I think that's a bit too much. I'd have to give him a 5. I think he's been pretty average. He hasn't lived up to the hype for long enough. 3 months out of a year, it's not good enough for me. Listen, if I sit here and get on other players' backs for doing that, then why can't I do it for Lucas Torreira? So you have to keep it. In balance. He's probably been about a 5 for Arsenal since he's been here. But leave it in the comments section. Let me know what you think about Torreira. Firstly, do you think he will leave in January? And secondly, rate him out of 10 so far for Arsenal. Now, let's move on to a centre-back that we are linked with. And it's somebody that Juventus signed in January, and that is Demiral. I've probably absolutely hammered his name. I don't know how to pronounce it. So any Turkish nationals in the chat, feel free to tell me all about that. He's a 21-year-old that signed for them in the summer, like I said. Now, he's dropped way down the pecking order, and I think that was to be expected. Listen, they've got unbelievable centre-backs at Juventus, and he hasn't really broke into the team at all. You know, they paid around £15 million for him, which is pretty good business, but they haven't utilised him. We're expected to go in with a bid for about £34 million. I don't quite know where that bid has come from or where that figure has come from. But to pay £20 million over what Juventus paid for him when he's barely featured, I think he's only played 2 games this season. Obviously, they got Bonucci, they got De Ligt, they got unbelievable centre-backs at that club. So it's going to be very difficult for him to get in there. Listen, I understand why he signed for them. Juventus are the biggest team out there. They win everything. Why wouldn't he want to go and test himself and try and play with better players and try and win trophies? I get that. But at the same time, it hasn't gone the right way for him, and they are open to selling him. Now, if they can make 20 million quid profit on him, fair play to them. But I don't think that we'll be going in with £34 million. Maybe mid-20s, 20, something like that. Why would we over double what they've paid for him and they've not used him? I don't get it. Listen, he is a Turkish international as well. He's a very good player. He's quite strong and powerful. He's good on the ball, good in the air. All round, he's a very good centre-back. But, you know, that's why Juventus signed him. Are we going to go and get this deal done? I'd like to think that it's something we could do. But at the same time, I do think that we should be looking for a little bit better. He is only young, so he has got time to improve. I get that. But I don't feel like we need a young project. I feel like we need the finished article. Somebody like a Koulibaly. Go and do double and a half the money on Koulibaly. You've got yourself a proper centre-back. But listen, this one's probably going to go on all January as well, all the way through to the end of January. We probably will go in for a bid with him. This is what Arsenal do. They like to go for the cheaper option rather than the tried and tested, proven quality. And that's what Arsenal do all the time. And it is frustrating. But I don't know. Listen, I do like the guy. I do think he's a good defender. Is he good enough to come into Arsenal and fix our defensive issues? Probably not. Leave that in the comment section. Let me know what you think about that. And yeah, we're going to move on to the last player. The last player is somebody that I think will get fans excited. He's linked with about 20 clubs in Europe. We are one of them. And that is Erling Haaland's son, Erling Braut Haaland. Now, this guy plays for Red Bull Salzburg, and he is absolutely fantastic. The kid is mustard. Now, he amassed 26 goals and 6 assists last season. That is pretty relentless. 7 goals, I think that was, in 4 Champions League appearances. The kid is so good, it is unbelievable. Like I said, there is about 20 clubs in for him. He's 19 years old, and Sports Bild in Germany are saying that him and his father have actually been and visited Arsenal training ground. They've been shown around it. They've met the hierarchy, etc., etc. Now, it doesn't say what fee would be on this player's head, but I could imagine this is going to be a 50 million plus. The kid is so good, it is unreal. I know that there's a few fellow nationals of his country that watch this channel, and they've been banging on about him for months and months, and rightly so as well. Listen, the guy is absolutely superb. The only thing I will say is if we do go and buy him, which is not going to be easy considering the clubs that are in for him, everyone's in for him, all the top European clubs, and why wouldn't they be? The guy is so good. The one thing I will say is, does that mean that we're letting Aubameyang or Lacazette go? Because is he going to want to come in, especially when he's a first team starter at Salzburg, is he going to want to come into Arsenal and not start week in, week out? Because let's be honest, if Aubameyang and Lacazette are here, it's going to be difficult for him. Martinelli as well. You know, yes, it'd be nice to have 4 good strikers, but at the same time, I'm pretty sure that he'd want to be the main man, which means that we'd probably have to sacrifice one of Laka or Abba. But I don't know. Like I said, this is going to be an expensive transfer fee, and it's going to be a difficult one because, like I said, Man City, Man United, Juventus, Madrid, Barca, they're all sniffing around him. The one thing that does go in our favour is that him and his father have looked around the ground. They've looked around Colney and they've spoken to the boys at Arsenal already. So that is a little shimmer of light at the end of the tunnel. Whether that materialises into actually signing the guy for a big fee remains to be seen. But again, this one's going to drag on all the way through the transfer window. That's it for today. I'm going to be doing a poll later on today on the community tab, so keep your eyes peeled for that. Also, I will be doing the live streams later on this evening, hoping that Unai Emery is going to be doing a press conference later on this afternoon. So if he does, that will be one of the streams. So keep your eyes peeled for that. And I will be back later. Thanks very much to everybody who's followed the Facebook page. The link is in the description for that, so fully go and show that some love. And also Lee Gunner 82 on Instagram. Until 5 p.m, I'm out of here. Laters, peeps.